Hello, computer application students. Well, change is always imminent. It's gonna happen, and it sure did. So you've already watched kind of the introduction to our lesson 13, and then hopefully you have created a Wix account here using your wmish.edu email account. If you don't have a Wix account yet, if you do, you're more than welcome to use that. And then you have come down and we have started our tutorial number 1, and you've realized, Mr. Lang, things look different. Well, I am actually creating a video that is going to go on top of this tutorial that's going to show you some of those changes that have taken place with a new editor. Because as you scroll down, you're going to see that there are a lot of tutorials that you're going to have to work on, and there's just some basic differences of the two versions, and so I want to make sure that those are cleared up from the very beginning as you're working through it, because you will be working using the new editor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of drag over my site here, and I'm logged in. I'm on WMU Test, if you will. Somebody already had WMU Test, so I called it Test Part 2. So I've created a new account just to show you guys some of the new features, and so I have not created a website at all on my new Wix account. And so here I am. It will probably bring you to this Welcome to Wix site. All right, and it's going to ask you to create a site. If you already have an account, you are going to go to templates. Well, I'm going to choose create your website, and guess what? It's taking me to templates, and I know that because of this blue hue over the top of the word templates. And just a real quick FYI, there are all sorts of templates that have been created, and you've got pages of them, as you can see down below. There are a lot of cool templates for you. There's also categories over here, from business to photography to events to all sorts of different things that you can create websites for. And I highly recommend you creating a website in regards to maybe a business that you have, or just some information that you want to get out, maybe a passion of yours, whether it's photography, being a DJ, or whatever it is. For our project though, yeah, you guessed it, we're going to start from scratch, a blank template. And when I choose that, it's asking us to pick a template that we want. We're going to start from scratch, and I'm going to ask you to choose edit. And it's going to take a second. It's opening up a new tab, and it is opening up the editor, so it may take a couple seconds here, and then here we are. This doesn't really look too much different than the old version, except there's just some things that are in different locations. For example, one of the first tutorials I ask you to do is add pages, and I asked you to go to this add location and pages. Well, pages is not here anymore. Where do I add my pages? That's right up here. If you can see your pages here and multiple pages throughout your website, I'm going to click on this down arrow, and right now we have one page for our website, and it's called Home. If I need to add a page here, and I'm just going to call it for simplicity's page 2, if you will, and done. If I need to add another page, I will, and I show you in future tutorials what those need to be named. I'm just doing them very generic right now. If you ever need to change a name of them, you can click on that page, click on the ellipsis over here, and now you can go to rename, duplicate the page, all sorts of things. Maybe you need to delete that page. All right, you can also go to page information, and you can change the name right here. Maybe this needs to be page 4 now, if you will, but I'm just going to change that back to page 2, and then you can play around with layouts. You guys can kind of mess around with these and learn a little bit about what the different tabs have in regards to that actual page itself. But I'm going to go ahead and choose done here. Now I can tell what page I'm on by this location right here. So if I need to go back and work on my home page, well, I need to do so here. It is grayed out now, or a tint of blue, if you will. And so now I'm working on my home page. And again, if you ever need to get to any of your other pages to work on, you can go ahead and, oh, I double clicked, sorry. Click that, choose done. Now I'm on page 3, I'm working on that. So that's how you get back and forth to your pages. So I'm working on my home page. Nothing's too different about the background. In a future tutorial, I'll show you that I want you to add a background, except they added some cool video effects to it. If you put your mouse over that video, and it will play for you a little bit, some rain clouds or some circles that are just flying around, whatever it is, or the ocean, which is kind of cool. So there's some without them. Now, depending on what your audience is, if you're more of an artist or into fashion, you may want a different style background to meet your customers' needs, if you will, or your audience. Think of your audience. If you're going into business or something, you may want a little bit more of a professional looking background, if you will. Whatever it is, I'm going to go ahead and choose this, and you may say, hey, I thought this was supposed to play, Mr. Lang. It's playing right there. Well, it's not going to play until you choose preview. If you choose preview, now you can see those clouds moving in the background. I'm going to go back to my editor. So that's kind of a new feature that they have for Wix, is the background that can play. Now you can actually add your own video to the background. So if you have a cool video of you doing a fashion show for Moda or something to that effect, hey, go ahead and add that video. Your own personal image that you want to add, hey, great, add that image. If you just want it to be a color, hey, choose a color from the color wheel that you want to have as your background. So I'm just going to kind of leave it at that for simplicities. Under the ad, this really hasn't changed, except some of the features may have changed. But what I like about this, it works really well, is some of the rollover effects that you can use now. So here for our titles, all sorts of different fonts that are brought right here for us, so we can kind of see what those fonts look like. And then there's paragraph text and all sorts of different things that you can add. But if you're adding a title, hey, maybe you want a funky title, for example, you can drag, drop that funky title right there on your page. All right. So if you want to add images or a gallery, I highly suggest, if you have multiple images that you want to have on a single page, these galleries are really cool. And don't forget to scroll down, because you start to get to some cool ones as you move down the page for maybe a carousel and stuff for some of those images. So see how those work as you scroll down. You may have to add a button, which you will. Those are located right here. You'll also have to add a menu, and your menu is your navigation pane about your pages that you've created. And I'm just going to scroll down and choose one. Why don't I choose this one for simplicities, and it throws it right there. And you can see that it is named the pages that I've named according to this menu here. You can see those appear there. All right. Now you probably want your menu on the top of the page. I'm going to drag my title, if you will, my funky title, down a little bit, grab my menu and put it on the page, and you can work on adjusting that, as you will see me doing in future tutorials as well. But you know what? I need that on all of my pages, because if I go to page 2, for example, I'm working on page 2, well, where did my title go? It's gone. Or my menu, excuse me. Where did my menu go? If I go back home, it's there. Well, if I need my menu on all the pages, I used to be able to choose an option from here. You'll see that in my tutorial. Can't do that anymore. I want to show it on all pages. I scroll that over to the right. It is now a darker orangish color there. It now will appear on all pages. So when I go to page 2, there it is. If I go to page 3, my nav pane is there. So that's a subtle difference as well. Don't forget, you can always go and manage your menu. Maybe change the thing here, the name of them, or even the layouts. You can even go into more and change all sorts of things. Oh, this is actually what the tabs say, excuse me. But there's a lot of things that you can do. If you want to go into the design mode of it, you can actually go and change the design to make it look different and kind of see what that looks like as you're working through it. So if you want to animate it, you can do certain types of fade ins and fade outs. So play around with these. These are really cool. Don't forget to use these options. And if you ever need a question to help or a question answered, choose your help. All right. So once again, play around with these. You're going to definitely have to create a contact page as well, so people can reach you if they want to ask you a little bit of questions about some of your experiences and those things that you have. What is not new is our market. That is the same thing, but take a look at the market and see if there's something that you want to have here that you want to add to your page. You can always look for things in the market. Here's your uploads. If you upload an image maybe a document, or maybe even some music tracks and all of that stuff, this is kind of where you will keep track of those things there. So whenever you need to add an image, it's going to get those from your image library, and that's kind of uploading that to the cloud, if you will, uploading that to Wix. Down below B here is a blog, and you can actually add a blog to your site if you wish. You're more than welcome to. I want you to fulfill all of my requirements that I have throughout the lesson, but if there are additional things that you want to add that you believe will work really well for your particular site, hey, please do add that other page and you can have a blog for yours. So that's a new option that we have. So I think you guys will do just fine with the updates. They're really not that different. If you have any questions about that, please let me know, and I will answer any question that I have the ability to do so. But I'm sure we'll be just fine as we work through this together. Have a great one, you guys, and we'll talk soon.